city and our politicians go from here is former Chicago Alderman George Cardenas, who left City Council last year after, actually, was it this year? Maybe, anyway, after winning a seat on the Cook County Board of Review. We really appreciate you being here, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite. Thanks for the conversation.
Commissioner, we appreciate it. This was a day one issue for the mayor, and we are in December. I think like day one, we knew this has potential to be nuclear. We're in December, 0 hour. Luckily, people aren't actually freezing. This is actually a crisis. This can be used as a cliche, but it's not a cliche. We are at a crisis point now, are we not, with the safety of thousands in the balance?
Oh my God, yes. Well, this is not a good setup. Obviously, we have thousands of migrants in the cold, and you know that's not good news to have something that they've been working on for months to fall apart. I'm quite surprised because the Public Building Commission knew that site was contaminated. We had tried to put a school there about 10 years ago, and we could not, because of the contaminants and, children, families, and so forth. And it just didn't make any sense then. It didn't make any sense now. So I'm surprised it really went this far.
Wow, okay, now that is something I hadn't heard, that you tried to build a school on that site. I do want to ask you, Commissioner, you spent, of course, almost 20 years as an alderman of that area, have a good understanding of the machinations of city government. So what is the fact that the governor stepped in to not only stop this project, but is now openly working to help find shelter solutions, say about the leadership in the mayor's office, and now including the fact that this site had been a known contaminated site for more than a decade?
I'm glad the governor stepped in. Obviously, he knows what's going on. He can read the tea leaves on this project and the overall consensus and the feeling from the community and the city as a whole. This is not a real process. If you were a business, this would not have happened. A good zoning attorney would have spotted this right from the get-go and said, we got a lot of work to do. We got to obviously test and do some sample testing of it, do some cleanup and see where it's going to go and see how much it's going to cost. I can tell you that back 10 years ago, again, 11 years ago, it was costing $6-7 million to clean it up.
Commissioner,
and
can I just interrupt real quick, though? What I really am interested in is your insight as to what this says about the leadership in the fifth floor, considering it took the governor to step in. I mean, do you have concerns about, frankly, the competency of the decisions coming out of the mayor's office?
Look, I'm not going to pull any punches. I mean, it's obviously an experience. It's been chaotic. The folks are fresh, are freshmen, if you will, and it's showing. But I'm surprised that some folks that have been around for a while have not stepped in to help. But this cannot be the way going forward in how we operate running the city.
Okay. Mr. Cardenas, Commissioner, thank you for joining us this morning. Obviously, I have many more questions now, had many more questions for you. Got to wrap this interview. Appreciate that. And we'll obviously now, I think one of the stories of the day is this 10-year-ago project, building a school, was shot down because of concerns about the soil.
And we hope to continue that conversation with you at some point.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner.
Absolutely. I'm here to help. Thank you.